Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of
And we
us.
are on. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Mindset Lounge on our special edition for Valentine's Day. You are here with Raluca and
I am Sally Mady. Thank you for joining us and tuning in, everyone. It's really a privilege to always share with you our thoughts and a new episode about love.
Mm.
And Raluca is wearing red today. Should have
Unintentional,
said.
completely unintentional. Yeah, we are
So,
passionate
yeah,
people.
the world is celebrating love today. Let me be honest, I would love to celebrate love any day of the week.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't like labeling days because we could just celebrate love any day. But today we wanted to focus on self-love. Loving yourself, not waiting to be loved, and all the rest of it. We're going to unpack it all for you today. What's your definition about self-love, Raluca?
Self-love. I don't know. I think I will answer with a metaphor.
Even nicer.
I think self-love is like taking care of a plant. Just like you water your plant and give it sunlight and make sure it has enough space to grow. Self-love means doing things that nourish and support yourself, your own growth. And like you wouldn't neglect your plant or put it in a dark corner to make someone else happy. It's about self-love is about prioritizing your own needs and happiness so you can blossom in the best version of yourself.
I'll
Yeah,
add to that,
my answer.
accepting and valuing yourself unconditionally.
That's nice
So
word.
with comes with self-worth and getting rid of all imperfections.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
as you are. You do you.
it does. It does. Um, yeah, what do you think are the benefits of self-love?
Initially would be it's the foundation of any successful relationship, any growth, success in general, because if you don't love yourself, you can't love people around you as good as you want it to be. And then you would only be waiting to feel loved, feel the validation, feel acknowledged. So it's if you love and show that to people that you love yourself, love will just flow, will be contagious.
Yeah, yeah. I think the law of attraction plays a part here.
Tell us more.
When it comes to self-love, the more you will give to yourself in terms of energy will be matched by the environment around you. And I'm not referring to being an egoist. That's a different thing. But if you can take care of yourself, you can take care of someone else as well.
Absolutely.
And when you love yourself, you know how to give to yourself and to others. And everything starts with you. I actually had a light bulb moment when I had my son. He was quite small, a baby. I was kind of neglecting myself because all my focus was somewhere else until I became suddenly unwell. It was an acute thing. I don't remember. I only remember back then that when this happened, I was actually washing the baby, my baby. And I don't remember anything else after. Apparently, in the meantime, I managed to finish and put him to bed and call my husband to tell him that I'm not well. He came home. I was in bed. My baby was in his bed. I couldn't remember anything. And that was when I realized that if I don't start, if I'm not well enough, if I don't start focusing on myself, I won't be able to offer him myself.
Of course.
And
Put your own oxygen mask first.
yeah,
As we
yeah,
say.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
explain
So
exactly the same thing, exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right. Practicing self-love will contribute to our well-being, and it will reduce stress and anxiety.
Mm.
I can only imagine that you were so stressed at that time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Especially
but having
because
a
I was
break and
unwell and I was wondering,
yeah,
how am I going to take care of my baby?
also with a lot of the changes in your body after giving birth, and you might not love your
I
body as
didn't, yeah, no, I didn't have issues with that. It was just a physical thing, a medical thing, I would say. My son took all my calcium. And when this happened, I actually had an episode of hypocalcemia, which came with everything that this implies. And a lot of things were messed up at that moment. But yes, as you said, it has a huge impact on our mental and physical health because stress and anxiety that you just mentioned affect
Mhm.
our body, and not
Absolutely.
only relationships,
I have
confidence.
a story actually
Mm.
um, related to loving myself in terms of how I look. Didn't happen a long time ago. It last summer, and that was when I had started loving myself. Back then, self-love was very low. So we went to the beach, and obviously I rock up in my swimming costume as you would do. Um, and then she asks me, "What are these lines, mommy?" She's referring to the stretch marks. Had she asked me that question years ago, my answer would have been totally different. But this is what I said. Um, and I took time to answer because I wanted to choose the right vocabulary that she might use in the future, or I don't want to influence her thinking. I said, this shows my history. This shows how far I've come in life. And it reminds me of the amazing gift I have is you and your brother every single day. Not
Mm.
in a million years I would have thought this would be my answer. But because it didn't bother me and I wasn't waiting for validation from anyone, or at that time, my self-love, I reflected back and thought, okay, we're getting there. Finally, we're getting there. We're accepting, as in me and myself, accepting myself,
Yeah.
my body, yeah, how far I've come actually in terms of health wise, in terms of the blessings that I have. And must say I was in a proud moment that I said that. But as I said, it took me a long time to reach that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think our history is something that we should be proud of. And I would add to what you said because many of us, we are wearing on our bodies different signs.
Mhm.
I didn't remain with any marks from my pregnancy, but I do have a breast reconstruction and all the scars and all the things that come along with that. And knowing that my look is not how I used to look, I feel good with
Mm,
myself because every time I see my scars are a proof that I'm a fighter. And I give myself credit for it. I give myself credit for showing up and fighting for my life. And
mm.
going through what I've gone through made me even stronger. So I do appreciate my body more than I used to.
That's amazing. Self-worth.
Yeah,
So when you love yourself, your confidence as well
yeah,
level rises a lot. And you stop comparing yourself to others.
yeah. And this has a greater overall impact on our happiness, or a greater
Want
impact on
to?
our overall happiness. To reward my.
Mhm. I want
Yeah.
to highlight that unfortunately now in the fast-paced world that we live in, there is a lot of stress and pressure from the environments around us, whether that's social media or people around you in your community, in the environment, that set standards to beauty, to success, to worthiness, to all of it.
Yeah, yeah, it's
And this
true. It's
affects
true.
our way of looking at ourselves and loving ourselves. And that
Yeah.
ends up robbing our own identity and authenticity from
Mm,
us.
yeah, because it switches the light from our uniqueness, which is the best thing that can happen. We are unique, each of us,
Mm,
from a certain type of standard. Oh, for example, for me was you're always skinny. There are people that are, oh, you've always been big, or so what? We are beautiful the way you are. We are, and I always say, as long as there aren't two DNAs in this world that are identical, why should we even try to be identical to someone else? What's the point?
okay. Enjoy being unique.
Yeah, yeah. And
One off. You're a one off.
if somebody doesn't love me for who I am,
It's
I
their
don't need
loss.
that person. Yeah, I don't need that person. Hmm.
So, how would you say we could give some ideas of overcoming those self-doubt moments that and perfectionism that is imposed on us from the environment around us?
I think one of the most important things, and because we specialize on mindset, is to replace that criticism and constant comparison with acceptance and appreciation. And
Mm,
instead of being hard with ourselves and comparing ourselves constantly to others, just try and accept the value of our uniqueness, of who we are. Like,
mm.
mm, our unique talents and quirks, for example. I'm childish. I'm childish. And I'm very short. By the way, this was one of my complexes, being too short. And my father once told me I was in high school. We were walking somewhere, and I used to wear very, very high heels to try to appear in a
Compensate that.
certain way, yeah. And he was a very big gentleman, tall, not big. And I told him, I don't like the fact that I'm so short. And he looked at me and he told me, why do you think I like your mom so much? My mom being even shorter than me. And I said, I don't know, because she's cute. Because she's short and she's cute.
Hmm.
And you are cute too.
How sweet.
That was the end of my complex. So yeah, I think replacing criticism and comparison, it's a good start to show self.
And replacing negative self-talk,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
changing that to the positive. Yeah. There are also many other ways, I think, to show love to yourself. Is maybe carving some time for self-care, doing
Mm,
something you love, or going out in the nature, um, reminding yourself of your strengths and your success moments, journaling about that, maybe.
yeah, yeah. I will go back a little bit to the self-talk, because that's a very important thing, and
Mm.
because we tend to always call ourselves in not a positive way, especially when we make a mistake. We tend to say, oh, I'm stupid, oh, I did this or did that. Or what if instead of talking back to ourselves, we say, it's okay, everyone makes mistakes? It's a reality, isn't it?
Yeah, self-compassion. Have self-compassion, yeah. And forgiveness. If you do a
Hmm,
mistake, forgive yourself like you would forgive your son, for instance.
yeah. What about boundaries?
Oh, that's a big one. Setting
I
boundaries. I
couldn't
think
miss it.
setting boundaries
Sorry.
personally and on a personal level and on a professional level as well. You will, by setting the boundaries, you respect yourself and you show love to yourself. You're worthy of that boundaries, whether it's saying no to maybe commitments that you don't want to be dragged into,
Yeah,
um, protecting your own time, self time, whatever it is, setting the boundaries and communicating them with the people
mm,
around you is key, because you could set boundaries between you and yourself and done. No one knows about it.
yeah. Yeah.
But the
I
pressure
wanna
of,
I wanna touch point with something regarding to boundaries. Um, I think knowing your limits is a huge aspect of boundaries. And I'm saying this because I've seen people in relationships or in other types of relationships stretching themselves physically sometimes to meet
Mhm.
someone else's expectations, financially sometimes. Oh, I really need to give some money to my best friend or to my wife or to my daughter, son, whatever, even if I don't have, so I'm gonna work more. And you stretch and you stretch, and what happens when you stretch too much?
Mm,
You break.
of
And
course.
when you break, are you able to love anyone? Can you receive love from anyone when you're broken? So I would say if you imagine your time and energy as valuable resources that you protect, because you need to protect them, it's a good start when it comes
Mm.
to knowing your limits and yeah, show
And
that
respecting
respect.
others' boundaries will
Mm.
automatically like follow with them respecting your boundaries too. So reminding yourself, okay, it goes both ways.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned earlier going for a walk and stuff like
Oh, I
that.
love
So
going for walks. I love being in nature.
oh yeah, who doesn't?
Mm,
I think this is part of spending quality time with yourself. What do
mm,
you think about this?
definitely. And that time could be used for reflection, reminding yourself of something you're grateful for, a moment you're grateful for. Journaling as well, even without writing, just reminding yourself of, as we said, your positive qualities, and writing a letter to yourself,
Yeah, yeah. And stuff like reading a
showing
book
love.
or watching a movie,
Yeah.
or sometimes if you like to cook, just cook your favorite meal
Mm.
for yourself. I have a story here
Mhm.
when it comes to spending quality time with myself. When my son was really, really small and I separated from my ex-husband, moving with my parents, I didn't have time for anything. The thing was that I enjoyed so much the company of my son that I wouldn't even think about taking myself out from him. Therefore, I started waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning just to have a nice shower, use some creams, do my hair, my makeup, whatever. I had 1 hour to do whatever I wanted for myself without taking myself out when he was awake.
Mm.
I can't tell you what difference this made for me. I was so energized at the beginning of the day, knowing that I've done something for myself.
Mm.
I didn't have time to do it, I think, for more than 1 year. I was always rushing to have a shower, didn't use any cream whatsoever and stuff like that. And I missed it so much. But I didn't feel like taking myself out when he was awake.
Is the guilt that sometimes kicks in as well, that
Mm,
robs that time from us.
yeah, yeah, I think so. I think so.
And also now, many of us would probably in their break or in their quiet time maybe go flick through their phones and check some social media, and that's draining your brain.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I know many people say this is my break, but in fact, is it?
You don't really give yourself a break, do you?
Is it switching off?
Mm,
It's obviously it's personal thing, but to me, I feel it's more mental load.
yeah,
Show your
yeah.
love, show yourself love the way that makes you happy, that
It,
the way that
it's
you
like,
don't neglect your needs.
indeed, it's like Treat yourself like a cherished friend you love to spend time with.
Indulge. I
You
love the
wouldn't
word
like
indulge.
your cherished friend to stay on the phone when you want to spend time with them.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so we hope today you celebrate self-love. In fact, every day, celebrate self-love. Celebrate
yeah,
you, who you are, how far you've come. And it's important to honor your relationship with yourself and make it
yeah,
grow, develop it in the way that suits you the best, without worrying about the people around you, without neglecting your identity and your needs.
yeah. Build confidence in yourself by following through on the promises you make to yourself. That's a very important one. Just like you would with your friend. If you commit to something, if you promise yourself, I'm gonna, I don't know, eat better today, stick to it. Stick to it and watch your self trust grow because you know you can rely on yourself. And that's a huge pillar
And you
of
will
self
become a role
confidence.
model.
Oh, yeah,
You will
yeah.
become a role model to people in your family, in your community, people in your work around you.
Involuntary, even.
Yeah. We hope you can spend today and every day loving yourself, showing love to yourself, because self-love is not selfish, and that's a myth.
No,
If you
it's not.
don't put your own oxygen mask first, you can't help anyone. So look after yourself, mentally, physically, and enjoy life. Enjoy every moment. Thank
Yeah.
you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Just the
And
two
see you
of
soon.
us.
See you.
We can make it every